last moment against Toronto, like where we had a line out, had a maul wasn't going forward anymore. We're going to throw it wide. We're going to like do some, hit ups around the corner and then just go straight into like pick and goes. And like, I think that just kind of like showed just not just my will to like get the win, but like everyone's will. And I thought like that's definitely, a moment to continuously aspire to.
What's up? Welcome back to MLR Mic Check. I'm Dani Wexelman, and I'm joined by Atlanta's Chance Wenglewski. Chance, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dani. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you, and we got a lot to catch up on. A big win last weekend against Toronto. That's the second win against that team this season. Yep. The Fire and Ice Cup. That is a new thing that has been created because a new rivalry, because something so special. You all have shared your field, your facilities at Life with Toronto. They came down because of the pandemic. So I know that it's been an interesting situation for both parties, but just coming off that big win last week, and that's 2 in a row now for Atlanta. What were some of the things that were working for you all?
Oh man, I think, it comes down to the end of the day of like how well you prepare throughout the week. We have such a good coaching staff, good management that, the timing of things couldn't work out better. I think just the business and the management side over here did a really good job as far as kind of like separating us from Toronto when they're training, when we're training. And so it's like, obviously it's kind of like I guess sibling mentality as far as like not trying to step on anyone's toes, not like crossing any lines by any means, but just trying to respect, each other's workspace, so to speak. And so I guess what really worked for us would be probably just the overall aspect of kind of just being prepared for the game. We knew Toronto, had, I believe their 8th game at this point. They haven't had a bye week. We had a bye week. Everyone's fresh. Everyone's itching to get back out on the pitch. So I think that kind of, took us having a little bit of an advantage as far as kind of having like that breath of fresh air, so to speak, kind of, turn the screws a little bit tighter and kind of like get back on our game. So I think that kind of definitely helped us out at the end of the day. But I think everyone played a full, proper 80 at the end of the day. Everyone wanted to leave it out there. It was kind of just like that brotherly rivalry, so to speak, just since we're, kind of living in the same headspace, same space in general. So, yeah.
Can you speak to that a little bit more? Because I do think the situation is so unique. And we had Taylor Adams on a few weeks ago to kind of talk about it. And it's kind of difficult for Toronto. It's harder maybe for them because they're displaced right now. They do have a home away from home, but it's such an interesting situation. From your perspective, I thought it is so brotherly. It is so rugby of Atlanta to bring in Toronto and just let them have that home for this season. From your perspective, how would you describe that act?
Oh, like I said, like I think that's just kind of just explains what the culture of rugby is at the end of the day. Like, once you step onto the pitch, you're enemies, but like step off the pitch, you might like share a beer with the guy or like share a drink or even just share a meal at the end of it. Like I know a lot of us at the end of the game, like even though, it was literally nail biter to like the last minute, everyone was like kind of just chilling, enjoying conversations. Like we have a few Canadians on our team, so like they'll be chatting with them and like that would just bring us American boys or South African boys in and like kind of just chat about it at all. So I think at the end of the day it was good camaraderie. I think at the end of the day, like that's just the game of rugby. And I think there was a Toronto player that made like a good scene, I think, on social media where he like blasted, I believe it was Ben Sema or something, against Seattle, and the dude just like picked them up right after the kick. So it's like, I guess that just kind of is like the overall sense of what rugby is and like how we've treated this, rivalry, so to speak.
I love that. I think that's super cool. And I love hearing from your perspective as well, getting to share all of this together this season, because it won't ever happen again. So it's super unique. And you guys, both sides have clearly made the most of it. So I love to see that. You guys are victorious though in the Fire and Ice Cup. Now 2 wins, looking to make it 3. When it comes to prep this week, tell me what prep looks like.
Oh man, as far as prep goes, I think the main thing that we've kind of been honing in on just about every week is that like, our opponents are going to change, but like we as a whole need to continue to like stay constant, stay solid. And our foundation is just focusing on us and focusing on the things that are working for us. And, might have some minor tweaks here and there as far as like game plan, game management goes. But as far as overall, like we're really just trying to focus on us. I know, And like we all know that at the end of the day, like we want to get to the playoffs and we want to be the number one defense in the league, and we want to, score tries and get those bonus points so that we can continue to rise in the rankings. So at the end of the day, I guess we're really just trying to strive to be the best that we can be, and really just kind of looking at the man in the mirror, because I think we all know what we have in the caliber, so to speak, and I know what we have the ability to, become, game in and game out. So I guess as of right now, leading into the Free Jacks game, leading into New England, we're really just trying to focus on us, continue to like sharpen the tools that we are gaining throughout this entire season, and really just honing in on that, really trying to capitalize.
Do you know a ton about this Free Jacks team? I know that they are in a similar boat. You guys are kind of neck and neck right now. What do you know about them that you can prepare for?
I think it's funny you say that, because our coach was talking about it earlier. Like, I know that they're take pretty heavy pride in their maul. Being a front rower, being a forward, like you kind of like set pieces your bread and butter. So like that's kind of an area that we're really focusing on. At the end of the day, like they are kind of sporadic in how they do things, a lot of different stuff going on. But the thing is like we said, like I said earlier, like we take heavy pride in our defense, and like we're looking forward to like whatever they throw at us. And as long as we're loyal to each other, loyal to the man left or right of us, I think we're gonna be just fine at the end of the day.
You personally have such an athletic background. How has your game developed, and how would you describe your style of play today?
Oh man, I constantly get reminded of like my wrestling background, and like the aspect of like kind of like, I guess I was known in wrestling for doing like sweep singles, which allows like players to fall on their face, and you kind of get that leg, and then you get like a +2 points. I don't know if you know wrestling, but like that's kind of like how it goes. But literally, like I'm kind of known as like a wrestler when it comes to like scrumming time, maul time. Like, so I'm kind of known for that mentality. But I think rugby in general has really kind of forced me, especially with Scott Lawrence. He's a big defensive head as it is. He's really into like the tackle contest area. So, having that kind of mentor, so to speak, is leading into my tackling, leading into my run carries. It's all about leg drive. And like I think like for me, I've kind of shifted from that angle as far as like kind of soaking tackles and really learning to just drive over the top of people. Like I'm not the smallest dude on the pitch, but I'm also not the biggest dude on the pitch as well. But at the same time, like I do have that wrestling background, and I kind of have a better idea of how I can maneuver bodies. And so really trying to focus in on that for me anyways. I guess I'm just trying to like tell a little bit of like what I'm working on, but that's kind of like, I guess, what I am as far as a player, just trying to, sharpen those tools that I already have and how I can maneuver bodies, I guess.
I love that. That is all the details that I'm looking for. I absolutely want to hear that.
Perfect.
100%. No, I think that it's actually a really cool insight that we don't often get into, kind of like the mind of the way that you're thinking about it. What does a day-to-day look like as far as exercise and diet go? Because you mentioned your legs and the strength in your legs. So how do you build them up and maintain them during the season?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It's funny because like I'm not just myself. I'm a teammate. I'm a husband. I'm a dog dad. So like having that all being said, like my wife is majored in exercise science, and she's actually pursuing her chiropractic degree right now here in Georgia at Life University. So she's heavily into like the holistic, like eat healthy mentality. So like me and her are both in the same boat. She does like CrossFit 5 days a week. And like she's also doing like I believe like 29 credits right now in school, which is just over the top insane to me personally. But she, seeing her do as much as she does, it only pushes me to do that much more on the pitch and off the pitch, whether it be film review and such. So I guess, I don't really have much of a choice, at the end of the day. Like what I eat, she'll look at me like, should you really be eating that? Or she's like, all right, we can have like a little bit of ice cream tonight, just like little tiny things here and there. But for the most part, yeah, diet's obviously, heavy on my heart. Like like I said earlier, like I'm not the biggest prop in the world, but like health and like rest is just as serious as like lifting in the gym and running on the pitch. Like I always try my best to push myself, trying to be a prop that's not so much like a 40-minute man or like a 50-minute man, but like have the ability to play a full 80 if need be come at the end of the day. And like I think that's something that I can keep close to my caliber as far as trying to pursue to be the best that I can be, and hopefully be the best in the league. Obviously, I have high dreams for myself and high standards for myself. So, at the end of the day, like we might get a win, but sometimes like I'm a little harsh on myself, and you kind of just have to go back, review, and continue to sharpen those tools, and be the best that I can be.
It sounds like, first of all, you and your wife have an amazing partnership, and that she is Superwoman in the flesh. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, 100%. She's so spunky, has a big personality, and like I think she's like I think this is at my wedding and my vows, and she like laughs at it, but like she's definitely like the yin and my yang as far as like I'm chill and she's like that little bit. I guess I'm the ice to her fire. If that makes sense. If we're gonna go to the Toronto game, so to speak. But yeah, that's what I'd compare her to for sure. We mellow each other out really well.
I love that. I love hearing that. So, talking about the mind and sharpening the tools, MLR created a campaign for this month for mental health awareness. It's called Mental Fitness, and it's aimed at ending the stigma, at just being more open, talking about mental health and what it means to you as an athlete, how you work on your mental fitness. I love the campaign. We've talked about it now. I think this is our third week. And I saw you share something on your Instagram yesterday, really recently, saying that sometimes giving a bit of your time can make all the difference. And that's near and dear to my heart. I feel that, I hear that. So I was wondering, how do you work on your mental fitness?
No, that's a great question. Speaking on mental fitness in general, like if anyone's dealing with any form of issues, I highly recommend reaching out to anybody, like family, friends. It could be even a complete stranger. Sometimes it's the easiest thing to do is to just talk to a stranger because they don't know your story at the end of the day. Like, just getting a little personal here. Like, I know during quarantine times, like you kind of like get into this limbo state of mind, when you're kind of on the day-to-day routine of things, and then it kind of just breaks up. And so it kind of gives you time to think about certain things and start kind of realizing some of the demons that someone might actually have. And I'm not going to lie, I had a little bit of a form of depression at the time, and I still deal with a lot of those demons, so to speak. And I chatted with the therapist. I chatted with someone who kind of understands like how the mind works and stuff. And at the end of the day, like I chatted, I spoke it out into existence. I kind of got it off my chest, so to speak. And it's not to say that it's something that you can fix in a day by any means, but for me, having that outlet to talk to someone, having that outlet to speak my truth, kind of speak how I felt, and still continue to feel at times, I think it's very real. And I think I said something along the lines of Robin Williams, like, and sadly he's passed away, but it is true. Like, I think some people have a very good job of disguising it, putting on a pretty face, putting on a smile, and sometimes, like, at the end of the day, you can't cover it up forever. You need to chat with someone. And I think it's a sense of humility when you can do that. And at the end of the day, like, it's only going to benefit you, and it's going to benefit others, because mental health is so serious. Like, yes, we can get injured on the field, but at the same time, like, what about those little moments when it's quiet and you're by yourself and you don't really know how to like handle those thoughts, like, and people do, I'm not going to say silly things by any means, but they make a permanent decision at times for a temporary, for a temporary problem. And I think that just reaching out is one of the easiest things we can do. Just being a light in someone's life, whether it be mine or someone else's. I think, at the end of the day, it needs to be covered, and I think it needs to be, talked about more often.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That was so beautifully said. And I agree with you. I love that Major League Rugby is taking it so seriously and putting such a giant effort towards mental fitness and being open and willing to share and talk about it. And I think that's such a huge step in ending the stigma and making everyone understand that we're all going through things, and whatever outlet you need, whether it's talking to somebody, talking to a friend, journaling, whatever it may be. I love that. We're all here to support each other. So I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate 100%. You sharing. I wanted to talk about the past week in Major League Rugby. And I don't know how closely you follow, but we had some of the closest matches in the history of the league. It's exciting. I think that everyone's kind of feeling the level of competition has continued to rise above in the 4 years now that this league has existed. What does that say to you, that the matches are so close, they're coming down to the wire, that level of competition is going up? In your head, what does that mean?
In all honesty, like it's almost silly if you don't see that coming. You know, like obviously these teams are coming from, you know, not just in the States but across the world. Like a lot of these guys are starting to gel, and there's the culture is starting to build. Like I know for here, like the culture here is extremely good. Like everyone's level-headed for the most part. You know, everyone's real happy to be around each other when it comes to training time. And the thing is, like, it's all about the culture and the environment that you build it in. So it seems to me like a lot of the teams in this league are doing a real good job as far as like honing in on their crafts. And like I said earlier, everyone's trying to master the things that's working for them. And at the end of the day, it's what's resulting in these really close matches is everyone's trying to and continuing to find these new ways to like overcome adversity, and continue to build on the processes that they're trying to build this foundation on. So I think at the end of the day, it just comes back down to culture and stuff. I think it's super cool to see all these close games because it just shows that, you know, the U.S. is no longer really becoming that sleeping giant, so to speak, as far as you know, rugby and world rugby for that matter. So it's good to see. I'm really happy, you know, to see that the competition's getting high. Like sometimes you need a little bit of a nail biter, not only for that team's charisma, but for, you know, fans in general. Fans want to see, you know, these tight, close games, and everyone's always happy about a nice blowout at the end of the day. But like people truly do show up for when it comes time and it gets gritty. So I think it's really cool to see. I'm real happy for the league in general with the aspects of everything that's going down across the board.
You're so skilled on the pitch. You're also so skilled off of it. And you're so multifaceted. I have to know about your background in art, and the drawings and the designs that I have seen on your Instagram are so outstanding. They're so good. And you told me earlier that you had a pretty big part in the logo, the redesigned logo for Atlanta. So tell me about your background and tell me about all these incredible designs that you've created.
No, yeah, for sure. Man, if we go all the way back, it'd probably be like since I was probably like a toddler. Like I've literally just been drawing with markers, crayons, pencils, like paintbrushes. It doesn't matter. My mom's side is extremely artistic, very left side of the brain mentality. So yeah, like my mom, my uncle, my grandma, just like that whole side is very artsy. I guess I got that gene. But you know, with that being taken place, like as a kid, you want to grow up and you're like, like what can I do with drawing? Like there's only so much you can do. And I think it was in the 5th grade, I wanted to be like a tattoo artist. I was like, I'm gonna be so set on being a tattoo artist, like putting my own design on someone's skin that's like permanent, like it's not gonna go anywhere kind of thing was just like, oh, this is perfect. I would love to do that. And then obviously rugby comes up and you're like, oh, like this is actually really fun too. Like if I can make a living off this, then even better. And then the next thing you know, I'm doing that. So it's not to say that I can't still kind of jump on that tattoo train. Like I'm probably going to get a tattoo gun and some in the near future, maybe tattoo some fruits and stuff for now until get a little good, and then maybe tattoo a few friends here and there. But yeah, so you know, with that being said, I went to university. I got my graphic design degree. I was like, I gotta have to get some type of artsy degree. Like I think it's just me. So I did that. Got the opportunity to come to Rugby ATL. You know, kind of they literally bought a building. They were like, "Yo, we need to deck this out with some cool artwork and stuff here and there." Got an opportunity to do like this 30-foot mural out in the gym of this giant rattlesnake, and like just kind of do my own twist on things. And you know, that popped up. It was super fun to do. I think I spent must have like 30 plus hours on it. Like I had like a week to knock it out, and I was just chiseling it away out. It was so fun. Very exciting, a little stressful, but I mean, it just kind of comes with the territory. But yeah, I actually got another opportunity to take part in the Rugby Rattler logo itself, the head and stuff, and it's cool. I feel like I always mess up this guy's name. He was an intern who came in with Rugby ATL. He did like this mean little snake head design, and I was like, I think we can really sharpen this up. So I did like a mean twist on it, and that was the one that stuck. And I was like, oh, that sweet. So I finally got to do that. Kind of have my name print, so to speak, on that. You know, kind of leaving my legacy as you know off the pitch, so to speak. But I've really been just blessed with opportunities to do stuff for Rugby ATL, and you know, other opportunities have popped up as well. Like I am getting guys and girls to like like, hey, can you design me like a tattoo design? And, hopefully I can still later in life kind of branch off and maybe do some tattooing, maybe fulfill my 5th grade dreams. So, that's kind of what it's looking like right now. But yeah, it's like I said, like very, very artsy side of the family. And I definitely caught that gene. I can't help it. It's just in my blood.
I love it. I think obviously the logo is super dope, and it's pretty cool that you may do so many incredible things on that field, but when you leave and you go and move on to do other things, like that logo is there hopefully forever. So that's pretty cool,
Hopefully
man.
so. Yeah, hopefully so. I'm real excited. And obviously maybe like they decide to do like a rebranding by any means, and they try to change it up. Hopefully they come back to me and just give me a call, straight up.
Give him a call, give Chance the call. I love that. That. And maybe I'll hit you up for some tattoo designs in the future. I'll have to
100%. 100%. Be more than happy to.
Awesome. Okay. All right, Chance, my friend, are you ready for some bonus points?
Hey, I'm always ready for some bonus points.
So you won a state championship for wrestling in high school. As you mentioned earlier, you're always being asked to talk about it. If you were a part of WWE, what would your persona be? Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, that's a great question. It's funny you say that. I actually met a WWE like wrestler in my apartment complex. I don't know if you know the guy named Ernest the Cat Miller, but he's an older cat, but he was in WWE, and me and I don't know if you know Manasa, I believe his last name's Soloa is how you say it. He's the Fijian prop that we have here at ATL, and me and him were just coming back from the pool. Both of our shirts were off. Like it was pouring down rain, like as well. So it's pouring down rain. This dude's like, "Hey, you mind like pushing my Mustang into the parking spot? Couldn't get my car to work." And like we just like, yeah, for sure. So we pushed his car. He's like, "Oh, can I get a picture with you guys? You guys are some jack dudes." And I was like, yeah, for sure, man. Like no big deal. And he was like I gotta take you guys out to eat. And we literally pushed this dude's car like maybe like 5 meters, like nothing crazy. It was literally just like pushing it like 5 feet. But he was like, no, I gotta take you guys out to dinner. And I was like, so that was kind of like our first WWE experience as far as like with that. But Manasa, he's kind of goes by the nickname Starfish. And I think it's kind of funny because since I have like these dreadlocks and it's only like in the back, I thought it'd be funny to like, if we did do a WWE tag team, it'd be Starfish and Jelly for sure. 100%. Yeah. So I don't know. I think if we were to ever go with that pursuit, that career, that would definitely be our names for sure. Jelly would probably be my name.
Perfect answer. You are an artist. You are so creative. So I want to know who's someone that you follow, that you love their work, or that you think, wow, I'd love to be that good one day.
Oh man. It's tough to say because I do have a lot of like artists that, I mean, I can't even tell you how many art history classes I've taken. So like I've had like this huge array of like artists that I really enjoy. Man, an artist that really kind of speaks to me. I've always been just like an over the top fan of Picasso. Just his style of artwork, I think, was beyond his time, and I think it's still beyond the current time it is now. Just as far as like the feelings that and kind of the story in which it was forelaying for a lot of viewers. And so I guess I as far as like Picasso goes, I think for me anyways, artwork that attracts and creates some form of feeling, not just like, oh yeah, like that's artwork, like that's cool and all, but like something that really like forces you to like draw an emotion. It might be anger, it might be sadness, it might be happiness, but like artists that can do that, I feel like have kind of the upper hand and what makes them great. So I try to apply that to my artwork as very much as I possibly can. So yeah, to answer your question, I'd say yeah, it'd have to be Picasso. That dude's on a different level.
Classic answer. And
can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. If you could have dinner with an athlete, past or present, who would it be?
Oh, an athlete, past or present. Can I switch it to a celebrity? All right, cool. I feel silly for doing this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe JB will see it one day, but I messaged Justin Bieber on like Instagram the other day because I saw that he got dreadlocks, and I was like, listen, man, like anytime you're in Atlanta, bro, come through and I'll touch your dreads up for free, like no charge. Like I'll try to get you a ticket to a game or something. No reply still, but maybe someday.
Wait, this is so good. Yeah. I did not see this coming at all. I love that. I feel like we can make this happen.
I would really, hey, if we can make this happen, that would make my wife really happy. we've been blasting his like new album like week in and week out. Like we can't stop listening to it. It's too good.
Yeah, it's too good. You're right. Too good, JB. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Top answer. What about a top moment for you so far this season?
Oh, top moment. Oh man, it's tough to say, but like we'll just bring it to like the most recent moment. That last moment against Toronto, like where we had a line out, had a maul wasn't going forward anymore. We're gonna throw it wide. We're gonna like do some, hit ups around the corner and then just go straight into like pick and goes. And like I think that just kind of like showed just not just my will to like get the win, but like everyone's will. And I thought like that's definitely, a moment to continuously aspire to, as far as like going the full 80, going past that line, crossing that line, and continuing to, build upon what we already have and what's been working. So as far as moments to start the season, it definitely have to be that last like 4 minutes against Toronto for sure. That was a fun experience.
50% capacity this weekend. You have the Free Jacks on deck. What do the fans mean to you?
Oh, the fans are everything. I always try to like find my wife in the stands because she's obviously like my biggest supporter, and like if anything, she does just as much review as I do. She's like, hey, like this is what number 3 is doing. Like watch out for that. You need to like show that to the ref come game time. Like when you're chatting with the ref, like you need to show him this. And I'm like, 100%. I'm totally gonna show him that. And she actually grew up playing rugby as well. Big soccer player as well. So she's dual sported. I did 3 sports in high school. She did 2. She did 2 in college. I did rugby in college. So it's like she understands the game. She doesn't just like, oh, like what happened? She knows exactly what's going on in every moment. So I guess to answer your question, yeah, like I look for her, but at the same time, like if I know she's happy, I know everyone else is happy. I think, like I said, Kevin, like a good friend of mine, manager for Rugby ATL, he was like, I'm gonna capture this last moment. You literally see him like record. He showed me the recording of like him capturing like the last few seconds of that Toronto game, and then like pulling it to the fans and just seeing them all jump with excitement. It's like that alone will get you hype, and like that alone will continue to push you forward. So like obviously making our fans happy, keeping them on their toes, obviously, making them happy, and like creating like this culture that I don't think anything else is like been replicated here in Atlanta. I think it's its own breed, so to speak. But yeah, it means a lot for sure.
I'm so glad we got to catch up and learn a little bit more about you and Atlanta, and I want to wish you luck this weekend against New England.
Oh, thank you so much, Dani. I really appreciate you having me on, and like obviously this is super fun, and hopefully you had a good time too. This is awesome.